Here is part 4 of your long, cinematic English documentary script. Clapperboard, How Rome Conquered Greece, a Roman History Documentary. Part 4, The Fall of Greece and the Birth of a Roman Province. This section, approximately equals 2,500 words, continues the story, from the aftermath of Corinth's destruction to the transformation of Greece into part of the Roman world. Clapperboard Part 4, The Fall of Greece and the Birth of a Roman Province. Opening scene. Somber yet majestic orchestral music plays. The screen opens on a burning city, smoke rising over marble columns and statues lying broken in the dust. Narrator. 146 BCE. The year Greece fell. The proud city of Corinth lay in ashes, its people scattered, its treasures looted. Across the sea, Carthage, once Rome's greatest rival, had also been destroyed. In 1 year, Rome erased 2 civilizations. And in doing so, it became the undisputed master of the Mediterranean world, Mare Nostrum, our sea, as the Romans would soon call it. But victory came at a price, not only for Greece, but for Rome itself. The conquest of Greece would transform the conqueror just as deeply as it destroyed the conquered. Scene 1, After the Flames. When the smoke cleared, Greece was silent. The ruins of Corinth stood as a warning to all who might resist Roman rule. The Achaean League was dissolved. The last symbols of Greek independence were gone. But Rome did not destroy Greece completely. Unlike Carthage, which was leveled and salted, the Romans recognized the value of Greek culture. They saw in Greece not just an enemy, but a teacher. The Senate declared that Greece, now divided into the provinces of Macedonia and Achaia, would be governed directly by Rome. Local cities were allowed some autonomy, but real power belonged to the Roman governors. Taxes, trade, and justice all flowed through Roman hands. The free cities of Greece, Athens, Sparta, Delphi, and others, were spared from destruction. Rome called them friends and allies. In truth, they were clients, tolerated for their prestige, not their power. Scene 2, The Roman Governor's Rule. A new figure now walked through Greek lands, the Roman governor, or proconsul. He was the representative of Rome's Senate and people, wielding absolute authority. To the Greeks, he was both protector and ruler. He oversaw courts, collected taxes, and commanded garrisons. Roman soldiers patrolled the roads, ensuring order and obedience. Greek cities learned to navigate this new world by diplomacy and flattery. Ambassadors from Athens and Rhodes traveled to Rome with gifts and speeches praising the Senate's justice. Some Greeks adapted quickly. Merchants profited from trade with Rome. Greek scholars found new patrons among wealthy Roman nobles. But others mourned the loss of freedom, philosophers, poets, and patriots who remembered the days of Marathon, Thermopylae, and Alexander. The torch of independence had gone out. Yet in the realm of ideas, Greece still burned bright. Scene 3, The Flow of Culture. Though Rome conquered Greece militarily, the flow of culture moved in the opposite direction. Roman generals returned from campaigns in the east laden with treasures, statues, scrolls, and works of art. Greek slaves, many of them scholars and tutors, filled Roman households. The children of Roman nobles were taught by Greek teachers who introduced them to philosophy, mathematics, and literature. Athens once again became a center of learning. Roman aristocrats traveled there to study under famous philosophers, Stoics, Epicureans, and academics. They debated ethics, virtue, and fate in the same halls where Socrates and Plato had once spoken. In architecture, too, Rome became Greek. Temples, theaters, and public buildings began to mirror the style of the Parthenon and other masterpieces. The Romans took the Greek orders, Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian, and made them their own. Greek culture had survived conquest. It had become immortal. Scene 4, The Wealth of the East. The conquest of Greece brought Rome more than glory, it brought wealth beyond imagination. Greek cities, Macedonian mines, and Aegean trade routes poured silver and gold into Roman coffers. For the first time, Roman senators grew fabulously rich not from war, but from the administration of conquered lands. Roman merchants expanded their businesses eastward. Ships from Piraeus and Rhodes carried grain, olive oil, and luxury goods to Italy. In return, Roman goods, pottery, iron, and textiles flowed back east. But wealth had its price. The influx of riches deepened corruption in the Republic. Senators bought votes, generals sought personal glory, and greed began to poison the ideals of the early Republic. The moral simplicity that once defined Rome, the discipline of the farmer-soldier, was fading. In its place grew ambition, decadence, and a hunger for power. The conquest of Greece marked not only the end of Greek freedom, but the beginning of Rome's transformation from a republic into an empire. Scene 5. Resistance and adaptation. Even under Roman rule, Greece did not surrender completely. In Sparta, pride lingered. Though politically irrelevant, the Spartans still trained their youth in the old ways: discipline, endurance, and strength. They refused to forget their past, even as Rome dismissed them as relics of another age. In Athens, the philosophers kept the flame of Greek intellect alive. Men like Carneades, Panaetius, and Posidonius taught in the Academy and the Stoa, blending Greek wisdom with Roman pragmatism. Their teachings would shape generations of Roman leaders, from Cicero to Marcus Aurelius. And in Rhodes, Greek seafarers maintained their mastery of navigation and commerce, ensuring that the islands remained prosperous even under Roman oversight. The Greeks had lost their autonomy, but not their identity. Their language remained the lingua franca of the East. Their art and science continued to inspire. Their ideas lived on in the minds of their conquerors. Scene 6. The cultural conquest of Rome. As Roman influence spread, so too did Greek influence on Rome. Greek literature inspired Roman poets like Virgil, Ovid, and Horace. Greek philosophy guided Roman statesmen and generals. Even Roman religion began to merge with Greek mythology. Zeus became Jupiter, Aphrodite became Venus, Ares became Mars. Rome's own gods were reborn in Greek form. The Roman pantheon became a mirror of the Greek. In art, sculpture, and theater, Rome imitated Greek models. The tragedies of Euripides and Sophocles found new life on Roman stages. The works of Homer became required reading for every educated Roman youth. The conquerors had become the students. Greece, in defeat, conquered Rome's soul. Scene 7. The New Order of the Mediterranean. By the 1st century BCE, the entire Mediterranean world had been transformed. To the west lay Italy and the former Carthaginian lands. To the east lay Greece, Asia Minor, and Egypt, all under Roman control or influence. Rome's fleets patrolled every sea. Roman governors ruled every province. But though the map belonged to Rome, the culture of the eastern Mediterranean remained profoundly Greek. The great cities, Athens, Alexandria, Antioch, Pergamon, continued to speak Greek, think Greek, and live Greek. Even the Roman Senate recognized this duality. When Roman generals wrote home about their victories, they often quoted Greek historians or poets. When Roman emperors later rose to power, they would adorn themselves not only with Roman triumphs but with Greek ideals of wisdom and beauty. Rome had built an empire. Greece had given it a civilization. Scene 8. The philosophers and the generals. As Rome grew stronger, some of its wisest men began to see the irony of conquest. The orator Cicero, educated by Greek teachers, once said, "Greater than, if we are the masters of Greece, then we are also her pupils." For Cicero and many others, Greek philosophy provided a moral compass in an age of corruption. The Stoics, inspired by Zeno of Citium, taught self-control, duty, and virtue. Their ideas would later shape the conduct of Roman statesmen and emperors. In the same way, Greek historians such as Polybius chronicled Rome's rise with both admiration and warning. Polybius, once a prisoner taken to Rome after the Achaean War, became a trusted advisor to the Scipio family. He saw firsthand how Greece's fall and Rome's rise were two sides of the same story, one civilization dying, another being born. Scene 9. A new generation of Romans. The sons of the men who burned Corinth grew up reading Greek poetry, studying Greek philosophy, and speaking the Greek language. They admired what their fathers had destroyed. In the homes of the Roman elite, busts of Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle stood beside statues of Roman generals. Greek tutors educated future leaders, Julius Caesar, Pompey, and Cicero among them. Even the mighty Augustus, first emperor of Rome, would later claim to model his rule on the harmony and balance of classical Greek ideals. Thus, the conquest of Greece became the foundation of Roman greatness. What Rome took by the sword, Greece reclaimed through the mind. Scene 10. The dawn of a new era. By the end of the 2nd century BCE, the Greek world was fully Roman in government, yet still proudly Greek in spirit. The provinces of Macedonia and Achaia prospered under Roman peace, the Pax Romana before the name existed. Trade flourished, art revived, and scholars once again gathered in Athens, Alexandria, and Pergamon. Roman wealth funded Greek temples and libraries. In time, the ruins of war were replaced by monuments of cooperation. The union of Rome and Greece created something greater than either alone, a civilization that blended Roman order with Greek brilliance. It was not a partnership of equals, but it was a partnership that would shape the destiny of the Western world for 2,000 years. Closing scene, Part 4 ends. The camera pans from the ruins of Corinth to the shining Acropolis of Athens, then to the Roman Forum bathed in sunlight. Narrator. Greece had fallen, yet it lived on. Through art, language, and philosophy, it conquered its conqueror. Rome ruled the world, but Greece ruled Rome's heart. The fall of Greece was not an end. It was the beginning of a new world, one that would carry Greek wisdom through Roman strength to the ends of the earth. Music swells. Fade to black. Greater than. Next, Part 5 The Legacy of Conquest, How Greece Transformed the Roman World. Would you like me to continue with Part 5 now? The Legacy of Conquest, How Greece Transformed the Roman World. Next approximately 2,500 words. It will explore how Greek culture, religion, and philosophy shaped Rome's empire and future civilization.